So I'm home with Gail, hanging out on the couch. Boom, I'm watching the NFL Network, and you have the press conference with John Lynch, and you made the announcement that Trey Lance is our guy. And I thought, as a former coach, that was a smart thing to do, good timing, because you probably concern yourself a little bit with, the competition between he and Jimmy and what happens with Jimmy, and if the team continually gets asked about that question. Talk to us about your decision to do it and when you did it.
I think it was that, I think the reality everyone knew. So why go against it?
Everybody on the team, you mean?
No, I think everyone in the country.
Okay.
Trey's known it for a while.
Okay.
Our team's known it for a while. You hear their quotes in the off season, watch them go through OTAs. It was never an issue in here.
Yeah.
People knew it was going to go that way. But you want to have an opportunity to trade someone. And then once that surgery happened, once all the musical chairs kind of filled up and stuff, and you go to this spot, it just, I keep saying it, but it is what it is. Jimmy had that surgery and he needed to get it. He's doing great now, but there was a window he missed. And we went through the whole offseason, OTAs and everything. Our team understood it. Trey understood it. You get to training camp, and we all know the situation now, which I've explained. But I thought it was time to clear it up for everybody else, so they understood that what we've already known in this building.
Yeah, I thought the timing of it was perfect. So I got one more follow-up question about Trey Lance. So you've been around the block. You're still a young guy, but you coached a lot of teams and a lot of guys. On one end of the spectrum, you coached a guy, RG3. He's kind of a dual threat quarterback, right? Can do it all. Mm-hmm. Then on the other end of the spectrum, you had a guy named Matt Ryan, pretty much a pure pocket passer. So those are opposites, all right? They're not like kind, all right? Where does Trey Lance fit in that spectrum? What kind of drop back stuff is he able to do, and what kind of dual threat quarterback is he also able to do like RG3 did?
Well, that's what I enjoyed watching him in college so much for, because you were able to see both. And now it was at a much lesser level, and it was only for a year of football, so you didn't have a ton to go off of. But you saw the offense that they ran when he did do dropbacks. You saw him play in the pocket, go through progressions, and then you saw him be unbelievable as a runner. And so you got to evaluate that as how would that look in the SEC, how would it look at our level. So those are all things that you don't really know until you do it. So you got to spend time with the guy and know what the person's like. And we didn't get a ton of time with him because of the COVID rules that year. Right. But what we did, we just, every week that went by, we believed more and more in the guy. And when you see the skill set of what he can do in college, I don't believe you have a chance as just a pure pocket passer to make in this league for a long time. You can see Tom Brady, and I don't think he's ever been much of a scrambler, but he's the best of all time. Then you got some people who, while they learn to play that way, if you don't have something else to rely on, you're not going to be out there very long. And so it's really cool to see somebody who has that skill set, who can get outside the pocket, who can make some plays. If they're struggling to do something in the pocket, or if someone's not open, they can do what they've always done. But if that's all you do, I do think it's a matter of time where that'll catch up with you. Mm-hmm. And so you got to believe that the guy has what it takes to continue to develop and do stuff that he is uncomfortable with, because that's the hardest thing is, guys do something their whole life, and I think it's harder, the better athletes you are, the harder it is, because when you're a good athlete, since Pop Warner, you've been running around making plays, and I say it all the time, people win Heisman's running around making plays, and then you get to the NFL and you're like, they're going to want to run around and make plays, which is awesome. You don't want to hold that from them, but you're going to also have to learn how to play while you do that. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the challenge for a lot of these guys, because you're going to resort to what you've done, and that's what I like with Trey, because I've seen both. I know he understands that he's got to work at both, and that's something him and I and the rest of the team will work through together.
So how will this offense look different than it has in the last couple of years?
I don't think it'll look that much different. The only thing, what's changed? There's certain things that Jimmy's going to do better than Trey, and there's certain things that Trey's going to do better than Jimmy. So whatever that is, you lean into those type of things more. You don't just, what you've seen in our offense the last 5 years it's what we want to run based off of what we think our players do the best. Yeah. And that's what you always continue to do. I have something that I've always believed in, that there's a foundation of our system. Even when we added Robert, everyone thought we changed our whole system. All we did was run our exact offense that we've always run. We just added the pistol element and had a threat of a running quarterback at every time, which kind of neutralized the defense back in that time. Now, that's come out a lot more in the last 8 years, and defense are a lot better at it. And that's what's fun to see, is how does the threat of a running quarterback affect a DN? How does it affect the safeties? And we're going to run our offense, but having a threat of a quarterback do that might open up some other plays that you normally wouldn't have.